coming to grips with the car on this circuit today. He said, like, trying to get the thing right and set up in the small amount of time he's had running from the commentary box back has been a big ask.
Well, obviously it is, and what happens also too, Darrell, is that the amount of guys...
Bob Tweedy, that's
Bob Tweedy,
another one of Seaton's cars that he bought, and he comes around, has a lose, points it into the wall, and smacko. He pulled it up pretty well, actually.
What really happened there with Jonesy is because the amount of development that Glenn's team's put into the Falcon over the last 3 or 4 months, obviously the car's getting better. The Sierra's locking back brakes badly just then, and Jonesy paid the penalty.
Well, of course, the Sierra hasn't had any development because of the Falcon. You're exactly right. So, AJ, it's been a big effort for him. Now, Longhurst now comes up beside Larry Perkins. He's all over the back bumper bar of Larry Perkins, and he can be tough to get past, Big Larry.
Well, he's the other bloke probably about as hard as Bowie to get past. So, between the two of them, I'm glad I'm not in that BM.
You see the Holden legs now as they start to stretch out, looking back at Tony Longhurst. This is the shot from Perkins' car out the rear view window.
You watch the Commodore get away down the chute, but again, as soon as you get to the braking area, the little BM is fantastic under brakes, and probably, you know, he'll gain 50 yards now.
So Perkins closes right up under brakes again. I'm sorry, Longhurst up on Perkins under brakes. Perkins now moving his way through the smaller traffic. Longhurst gets through too, so this is good stuff. Again, they'll have a go. There's traffic up in front. That's going to really help Longhurst, if anybody.
Yeah, well, this guy here is probably going to affect Larry a little bit, but if he gets out of the way on the exit, it won't be too bad. No, he'll be all right. Yeah, he's done a good job, and Larry wasn't affected by it, and Tony probably won't get any gain out of that either.
Down the main straight with Larry Perkins in the big hole, and through he comes. Watch the wheels bump here, lifts them up every time Larry throws the car through here, gets it totally sideways, the car just drifting through. Here's your leaders, 1, 2, 3 and 4. There's still nothing in this. You still can't afford to make a mistake. Now, what about tyre wear?
Well, as I said, the BMW, as you can see, is really terrorising Larry around the twisty parts, and the car is the most consistent car probably out there now on tyres. But all the cars, the top 4 cars, are all doing 42s still, mid-42s, so there's nothing in the first 4. It's just a little gap they've got now, and they're all sort of trying to keep that Larry sideways there on the exit.
So 4 laps remaining. Larry Perkins in the Holden Commodore started from pole. Didn't get the best of starts. Jimmy Richards really put the power down with Johnny Bow, but Perkins now nibbling away. But look at Longhurst. He's like a little snapping dog at your heels all day. He'll just snap away. Get in close enough to get that pull down the straight, then he'll dart out under brakes. There it is, 1, 2 and 3, 4. Gee whiz, there's nothing much in this. I really thought that the first 2 cars of Richards and Johnny Bow would have got a little bit more distance on these other 2.
Well, probably they would have, but you know, I think that the pace of the race has been settled down by Richo, and that John Bow has really tried very, very hard to stay with Jim. Our car obviously is very, very consistent, and as you can see, so is Tony's. But because the 2 faster cars in between, Bow and Perkins, they're really restricting Tony from probably doing the speed that he could do.
Comments from Mark Skaife, of course, drove with Jimmy Richards to take his second Bathurst out in the car. The Nissan GTR did all the development work on it, switching to Holdens next year, the Gibson Motorsport team, so it's going to be interesting. Here's Perkins driving the older model Holden. Watch him through here, unbelievable, lifts wheels all over the place, 17 out of 20 down. It's still Jimmy Richards. Johnny Bow in second place. Perkins now has a bit of traffic to contend with. He'll get through there. Tony Longhurst lost some ground on that lap. He's dropped back a little bit, and the traffic probably didn't help his cause. He goes onto the brakes now and gets in behind Perkins again.
Jim's driving the car very smooth, and you know, at this part of the race, as I said before, our car is very, very consistent tyre-wise. The Yokohama tyres, we're using an E-compound around here, which is a little bit harder than what Longhurst is using. And you know, over the course of 20 laps, the car stays very, very good in regard to tyre wear.
So Longhurst up behind Perkins again. This has been the dice, no doubt about it. These 2 have been at each other right throughout the race. Perkins has been passed twice, came back, and of course the field then bunched up when we had that accident, when Glenn Seaton went off and they had to remove the car. So that bunched the field up again. But Jimmy Richards, very clever at the start, balked Johnny Bow to get that acceleration away and get those few metres lead.
Yeah, I'll bet you that Richo was very glad that the pace car pulled off before that corner coming onto the straight, because if he made him come right up to the line, Bow was, you know, a big chance of being able to out-drag him. But he pulled off early, and the little slow corner coming onto the straight suited our Nissan very, very well.
Larry Perkins, I mean, what a man he's been in Australian motorsport. He drove, of course, in Formula One. He came back to Australia. He struggled to get himself going. As you said, he's been a great engineer, a great privateer for Holden cars, but gee, he's reborn, isn't he? I mean, he really is fired up this time round.
Yeah, he's going great. He's really easy guy to get on with, LP.
Oh, he gets a bit touchy before a race, I'll tell you. Try and walk in the garage before a race. Oh, locks up a brake. Longhurst now up beside him. Longhurst still getting, yes. So Longhurst back in front now. Perkins puts the hammer down, and the big Holden closes back up on him again. And Tony Longhurst, beautiful stuff there. Perkins locked up his brakes, and Longhurst was through.
A little bit of blue smoke coming out of the back of Larry's car there now, and I'm not sure whether that's slowing it up or not. I don't really know where it's coming from, but a few times now you can see the wisp of blue smoke behind it, and he's fallen off Tony pretty quickly, so, you know, I'm sure there's a little problem with it.
May have a problem. Larry Perkins. Yes, there's the smoke that Mark has been talking about, that haze of smoke that comes out, so we'll keep our eye on that. Still Jimmy Richards in front from Johnny Bow. What's the attitude of the Holden through when you get into the chicane parts of the circuit? Fantastic, just lifts wheels, throws it from one side to the other. So there we are, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's Richards, Bow, Longhurst and Perkins, and that's about how it's been all race long. Jimmy Richards holding Johnny Bow in the Sierra. Last time round for both of these